Welcome to Rick and That Michelle Chick. Hello, I'm That Michelle Chick.
And I'm Rick. Welcome.
Okay, so there was a comment on our spot.
Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna kick some dogs out. All right, do my. All right, here we go. I'm ready now.
Okay. Back to the comment we received on our Spotify. So it was for the episode titled "Snacks We Mourn, Tears We Shed, and a Tiny Tenant with Big Bills." In that episode, we discussed foods that we miss and would like to see make a comeback. Well, Robert, who was a listener of our morning show back when we did it, he commented and he said that he misses Butterhorns, Sambo's in Lewiston, Idaho as a kid. The best. And I, of course, have no idea what he's talking about, but you do. So
you're talking about the Sambo's restaurant.
I'm assuming.
So interesting. So Sambo's, which was is not politically correct, okay, because they had a little. Oh yeah, it had a tiger. It had a tiger, and then it had a little black boy as its mascot. So Sambo's was not at the time politically correct, or at the time maybe politically correct, not today. So Sambo's used to be right there on Main Street. So I had talked in a previous podcast to where I had been a waiter and I'd been a cook and a dishwasher at Pioneer Pies, which was a franchise that was in Spokane. I think there was one in Yakima maybe too, right?
Yes,
Pioneer Pies.
Yes. So I loved their food.
Yeah, these Pioneer Pies had taken over the old Sambo's restaurant. So in downtown Main Street, downtown Lewiston, where this Sambo's was located at, was actually where Pioneer Pies was, where I was actually a cook and a waiter and busboy and all that in high school. So now as a kid, it was Sambo's. And so you could think of a Sambo's as Sherry's, basically. Denny's or Sherry's. Kind of that kind of restaurant.
Right.
But not politically correct.
Like family diner.
It's a family diner.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. And you should pull up Sambo's and say, Sambo's restaurants and go, whoa, what the?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a perfectly normal day in 1970.
Right.
But he was talking about the Butterhorns?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It said I miss Butterhorns, so I'm assuming it's something from the Sambo's. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they still make Butterhorns. You find them. They do make Butterhorns. You can find them in the store.
Right. And is this a different version of it or a better?
It's like
version?
A bear claw.
Right. Yeah, I know what a Butterhorn is, but I'm assuming they were better from Sambo's.
Probably were. I'm making the assumption they were homemade and not store bought. You know, and then of course, if you're gonna have a Butterhorn, you got to smother that bad boy with butter.
Yes.
And you can do it.
I would have coffee with mine. You would not.
Yeah, it's delightful. Well, yeah, and then you microwave it where the butter just oozes. I mean, I'm all for that. I'm all for it, Robert. And Sambo's, I definitely know where Sambo's is, and it was Sambo's when I was a kid before it became Pioneer Pies. So I know exactly where he's talking about.
Okay. And a big thank you to Robert for listening to our podcast.
Someone did. My goodness. Okay, I'm going to hang on a second. Hang on. There's one.
One listener in our analytics. And then I found something that I'll show you towards the end of this podcast. Hopefully we don't run long today. So I've been sorting through our storage unit, which, mind you, we have 2 storage units, but the second one is full of a lot of, my dad's stuff, furniture, that kind of thing. But the first storage unit is full of basically our kids' shit. And I've been trying to organize everything and then put those little QR code labels on it. Do you know what that is? So yeah, you can put the little QR code and then you take a picture and then you can describe what's in it. Anyway.
Oh, fancy. Woo, look at you.
So I'm trying to get all organized. This is taking me this is what, my second week working on this. This. Because we have the largest storage unit available. Both of them are the biggest one that you all has. I don't know what the dimensions are, but so anyway, I have been going through stuff and I found a gem of you and I that I will show towards the end of the podcast. Which I didn't even.
I think I've got. If I go look in my storage unit, I don't have a lot, but I think I've got photos of Danger Boy in the doghouse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So there's. I'll have to. Yeah, it's buried deep in there. I think that they did a newspaper article about when we did back to back for Backstreet Boys.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a newspaper article about that from the Yakima Herald. So I've got I got a couple little things. And there is some photos that, and it's you and I. There's the doghouse, Danger Boys in the doghouse. We're leaning on the doghouse. I'm in a blue shirt and a tie. Weird. And then you're wearing back in the day, we had the white 107 shirts.
Yes, which I found those too.
That has kind of like the Aqua KFFM logo.
Yes. Yep. I have one of those. I found it.
I bet you do. Bet you do. I don't have mine anymore, but yes, it's a classic.
Yep. And then I have the picture of us with the 98 degrees.
Oh yeah,
I've got that Logan's in it, and Logan's in it too. Yeah.
I've got that. I think that one's actually on my Facebook. I may have that hidden on my Facebook somewhere in old pictures or whatever. But yeah, Logan, he's just a little guy. She's just a little guy then.
Yep,
but
I found that.
I mean, the big thing about 98 degrees, not that it's 98 degrees, Nick Lachey's in there. So that it's the same thing as I always talk about NSYNC. It's like, it's not that we met NSYNC. Oh, we met Justin Timberlake.
That's right. I couldn't. I mean. I can't name the other.
No, who else is in 98 degrees? Nobody I
don't remember. Yeah,
no, it's Nick Lachey. So
yeah, and his brother, which I don't remember his brother's
is it
name.
Drew? It's Drew.
Yeah,
isn't it Drew Lachey? I think is the brother.
So. Yeah. Anyway, which I don't know about you, but kind of given our childhoods, once I hit middle school, like I started saving all my stuff because I had control over that. Yeah. My mom got rid of like my favorite yellow dress and my tutu. And so now I think like I've overreacted because of that.
Right.
And I've saved like all this stuff from my kids. Like they're gonna, when I die, they're gonna sort through this shit and be like, what? Why? Why did this bitch give this? Like what is going on? So I'm curious if, because of our childhoods, that maybe, especially yours, being bounced around a lot more, do you find that that's kind of like something that you notice that you do now because of that?
Well, I would never call it hoarding. It would definitely not be hoarding. But and I know that Pokey, my first wife,
I'm organizing my hoard. So does that make it not hoarding?
It might. Well, you're putting QR codes on your crap. So I think that's hoarding. But so Pokey purged a lot through the years, and then Megan is definitely one of those people who, if she could purge anything of mine, she'd purge it. So I have some. I don't have a lot because and as a kid, we did move around a lot.
Yeah.
Through the foster care system. So I talk about it in my book, which of course there's my shameless plug for my book. The one thing is when we had a house fire in 5th grade was that blue ribbon for my dog Joe is the one thing. If there's anything I've ever said, I wish I had that back. There's a blue ribbon for my dog, and that was from 5th grade, or I'm sorry, when I was a little kid, and that burnt up in 5th grade. And then so I went through this phase before I met girls. So I went through this phase from like when I was a freshman till I was a sophomore, and I used to write and draw my own comic books, religiously. Like that's what I did.
Right.
And so I had like 33 issues of a particular issue that I had written and drawn. And so what happened was, in between the moving of high school and college, it was in the back of my Chevy Vega, and my Chevy Vega, I rolled it. So it ended up getting towed away, and I just never went and got my stuff out of it. So I lost a lot. Those are things I wish I could have had back, because they were in the trunk basically.
Right.
So my memories, my memory's fading the older I get. So there are certain things.
Me too.
Yeah, there's certain things I wish that I had kept. And so I have now from 18 on up, I don't have a lot, but I do, because I'm an adult, and I have more of those different things, especially Logan. Once Logan came into the picture, I've got all of Logan's baby pictures, the baby book, even some shoes from Logan, anything that concerned Logan more so. I definitely have more of Logan than myself.
Yes.
But when my mom, it was interesting, when my mom passed away, she did have some stuff that I didn't have. So she had my birth announcement. I didn't realize I'd weighed 4 pounds. So I weighed 4 pounds.
That's small.
Yeah. So there was a couple things that she had saved that was in her stuff that I was able to get, that like, it was kind of cool to get that stuff. And then for my book, what really made me want to write the book was my foster sister had found a bunch of pictures, and I had not seen those pictures like ever. And that's what spurred me to write the book, because she had pictures from my childhood that I'm like, okay, you need to write this book now.
Right.
So I wish I had a lot. Do you have a lot of childhood pictures? I don't have a lot of childhood pictures.
I do have a lot of, thankfully, I do have a lot of childhood pictures. Okay. But just, I have a few baby clothes and my baby book, and that's about it until I hit I had control over my stuff and my mom couldn't just get rid of it or whatever. And so that probably started about middle school. I do have all of my Little Pony collection and the houses, and I organized that, and I took a picture of the containers and sent it. We have a group chat with us and our kids, and I sent it to them and said, "This is your inheritance."
Yeah, there you go, My Little Pony collection.
Yes, so I do thankfully have all of that. Not that it is going to be worth anything. Like, it's not new in boxes. I played with it. Like, it's been used. Yeah, I wouldn't even let Shaylee play with them.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's a little bit, I think, bent about that still to this day, and she's 19 now.
That's what she's going to inherit, the My Little Pony. I mean, I guess it's not as you've seen the crazy stories back in the Beanie Baby craze?
Yes.
To where they showed a photo of people getting divorces, and there's a judge, and they're sitting there separating Beanie Babies.
Each Beanie Baby, yeah.
Like, who?
Yes.
What the? I will. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Are you a Beanie Baby
fan? No, but we when my grandma passed away, my mom gave Shaylee my grandma had the purple Princess Diana Beanie Baby bear that is like worth, but this is not the first gen or whatever generation
first generation.
Yeah, this is like the second one, so it's not worth as much money. But I Googled it because I thought it was the first gen. I didn't know there was more than one round made, and so I Googled it, and I'm going, oh, even the second gen is worth probably about $5,000.
Yeah.
And so that thing is like protected
that
and put away. Yeah.
That was the one thing nice about it was funny when I was a kid. I did not take care of my comic books like I take care of my comic books now. But that's the one thing that Pokey, when we got divorced, she did not take any of the comic books or any of the valuable comic books.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I'm passing on to Logan, and it's funny. I wanted Logan to have the enthusiasm because he grew up around comic books. But it's funny is like if I got the first appearance of the Silver Surfer or the first appearance of Daredevil or whatever, I get excited about it. I really don't share it with anybody. And so one day I was like, well, I said, Logan, don't you want to know what you've got? And being Logan, he goes, Dad, there's the internet. So instead of me being able to sit down with him and go, hey, look at this. Here's the first appearance of Deadpool. Here's the first, all of that. He's like, yeah, Dad, they have this thing called the internet. If I want to know what I got, I'll just look it up.
Do you have them all cataloged in like
well,
alphabetical
not
order?
All of them.
Like, how do you have them?
Yeah, so there are programs. So there's a program called Key Collector and Zap Kapow. So I have about 4,000 cataloged.
Damn.
So mainly, again, comics are only worth what someone's willing to pay for a comic book.
Right.
So even though a book might say it's worth $3,000, if someone's only going to give you a couple $100, and it really is worth a couple $100.
Right.
Same as any collectible.
Yeah.
So, but I do have. They're called key issues. So like you said, the first appearance of Daredevil or the first appearance of Deadpool, any of that stuff. So I do have those cataloged key issue wise. And then as a collector, it's like, when it comes to comic books, not to bore everybody, but it really is. And same as you were talking about the My Little Pony and any collectible, it's the condition that really matters.
Right. It needs to be new in box and
mint in boxes from a action figure collectible and all those different things. And so I've got some really nice books that could fetch some good money, but I don't have anything. So I definitely, I would never financially put myself at risk ever when buying a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
So all my comic books that I own are comic books I could afford to own, and that I was willing to take a risk on or buy. So
the $1 million,
Superman. It's like, so in my collection, even though I'd love to have an Amazing Fantasy number 15, the first appearance of Spider-Man or Spider-Man number 1, those are so far out of my my reach. I mean, these are
right.
these are $10,000 to $12,000, even in the worst conditions.
Yikes.
So yeah, so it's like I would never, I just wouldn't even do it today. If someone walked in right now and said, "Hey, here's a Spider-Man #1, $12,000," I would not feel comfortable purchasing that.
Right. Even though you would love to have it as part of your
I'd love to
collection.
have it. I'd love to have it. So
Right.
so yeah. So for me, once we start getting to, I guess I don't know what my number is on what I would be presented, but for me, anything above $600, I'm like, okay, too rich for my blood.
Right.
So, but luckily, I mean, I do have a lot of books that I bought at a great price that are worth thousands each.
Right.
So that's the nice thing is I did buy books. It was so funny, a hilarious story. Not to stay on comic books, but the hilarious story was my buddy Kurt in high school. So my buddy Kurt in junior high and high school, his parents had money. So he went to the comic book store every Wednesday when comics came out. And I was so jealous because his wall, when we were in junior high, his walls were just full of comic books, like on the wall, like all pinned up. Right. I was so jealous of him, and so he had the giant size X-Men, which is a very collectible comic book, very famous from 1975. First, it's the first appearance of the new X-Men, and Wolverine's like third appearance. So, I admired that book in junior high, and I remember when we had graduated high school. So funny, he calls me out of the blue and he goes, "Hey, dude," he goes, "I just need some cash." And I said, he goes, I'll sell you my giant size X-Men." And so I said, "Well, I can give you $50 for it." He goes, yeah, that works. So he dropped it off. I gave him $50 for the book. So I do have a giant size X-Men, which is like, it's one of the grails that people want. And years later, I ran into Kurt in Seattle, and he's like, "Yeah," he goes, "Man," he goes, "my biggest regret was ever selling my giant size X-Men, because I don't even know who has it."
He doesn't even know he sold it
and I
to
said,
you?
"I've got it. I bought it." He goes,
Oh,
"You
I would
got
not
it."
have said it. I would have said, I don't know. I don't know.
No,
who
it was
has
funny.
it.
He goes, he had forgotten that he had sold it. He goes, "Oh, at least it was you," you know. So
I mean, I'd be thinking, did he need money for drugs?
no,
Like,
not at all. He
what
wasn't like
is-
that. So I don't. I mean,
he can't remember.
yeah. I mean, I don't even think that even today he collects comics. It's not his thing. I mean, it
Right.
was. Don't get me
Right, when
wrong,
he
it
was younger. Right.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But I was so jealous that he had his mom and dad had bought him. Basically, man, he always had comic book money. I never did.
Right.
So, but I do have that in my collection, and I have it graded. So that's one of the things you do now with comics. If you've got a grail, same as a baseball card, different things like that. So yes, I've got it graded. It's one of the books that Logan will inherit. So it's got a great story behind it. It's a fun, it's a fun story. Cute. So, and then the most I ever spent, Peter McLean,
Peter.
from work.
Yeah.
He approached me one time, years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and said, "Hey, my brother and I had comic books in the 60s, and they're in my storage unit." So he brought them in. Remember, they were in the shoebox?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were in the shoebox, and he had like 200 Silver Age comic books, early Silver Age. And so, and he goes, "Yeah, I don't know what to do with them." And I said, "I'll give you $5,000 right now." and if these books were mint, they'd be worth way more. So they were not in the best shape. But I ended up getting the first Silver Surfer, first Galactus, early Spider-Man. I mean, so it was 200 books of early Marvel. So it's kind of the crown jewel of, or at least one of the crown jewels of my collection. But I think that's the most I ever spent. And I literally, I just look, and I think some would say I probably overspent back then. But I looked at him and go, "I'll give you $5,000.
Right.
And would you take $5,000 for My Little Pony?
No.
What?
No. For my Little Pony collection?
You would not.
Mm-mm,
Do you think it? I'm just going
to
quiz you. Do you think it's worth more than that?
No, it's not.
So it's sentimental.
Yes. I mean, honestly, there's no reason really to keep them anymore, but yeah, I just can't part. Like I said, I wouldn't even let Shaylee play with them. Like, that's how crazy I am about them, which is dumb. It's really dumb.
The nice thing about the Peter situation was, I mean, they were in his storage the entire, like, his whole life. So it wasn't like he had them, and he wasn't even a comic book fan. I mean, within reason. And so he said, so he knew when I offered that they were. I mean, like I still have them. I mean, he knew I would not sell them. It's not man. Now maybe Logan, once I'm dead, will sell them. I'm sure, but in my collection, they're not going to get sold. They're part of my collection. So
I'm sure my kids are going to sell all my stuff. They're going to be going, what?
But now I'm going to go QR code everything because you're spastic like that.
Well,
hey, I mean, I know what I have.
I'm trying to organize so that when I need to find something, I can just look in the little label catalog and find it. So, yep. That's
there you go. There you go. Yeah. I wish I was that detail oriented. I am not. I mean, I do know what I have and where it's located for the most part. So if I have to get to it, I definitely, one thing I don't do, I mean, this might be interesting, is I do not invite people over to my house to go through my comic book collection.
Well, no. I mean, is that a thing? Is that common with adults?
No, I don't know if it's common, but I look at it like you might as well be casing the joint. So I don't, and again, not that I have anything. Not that I have anything of value, but I've always felt that most crimes are inside jobs.
Oh, definitely.
They know what you have, or they know where it's located to get it. And
especially if you look at all these celebrities getting broke into, it's usually somebody that knows somebody that knows where everything is or how to get in.
That's how they did. I remember that Pokey, when we had gotten a divorce and she had her own apartment in Clarkston, her sister Shelly stayed with Pokey, and I said, that's not a good idea, Pokey, not a good idea. Next thing I know, Shelly, her sister, her adopted sister, half sister, or whatever, took all their stuff to the pawn shop. And so Pokey was only able to get like 50% of their stuff back, but she literally loaded up Logan's toys, loaded up the VCR, loaded up the DVD. I mean, loaded up her crap. And it's like, it's probably, I know this is, I know my probably my family's listening to this. That's why you're not going to be staying with me.
I mean, there's good hotels.
There's it's like, I think that sometimes it's just too tempting. Now, because if you know what you're looking for, like you said, a celebrity's home, or what you're looking for, it has to like if I come home tomorrow and all my comics are gone, I know it's an inside job because no one knows. They just don't know. I mean, they don't know what I have or what value, and not that. I mean, I'd just be more upset that I lost. Like you said, my comics have more sentimental value to me, than they do
monetary.
Again, I'm not. I mean, I haven't sold any comic book that I own, so and I don't plan to. So it's the same as the Little Pony thing. For me, and I'm sure the Little Pony thing is the same way, and I talk about it a lot in my book too. Is there for me? That's my childhood. That's my shield. That's my protection. I don't know. That's my blanket.
I was going to say, I think for me, the My Little Ponies, that's like the happy part of my childhood. And there's not many for us. And so you hold on to that happiness compared to everything, because it was craziness for both you and I growing up.
And that's what the comic books are. That's what the comic books are. And so even in terms of owning rare or valuable comic books, I have a few of those, but I didn't care about the condition. I'd rather just own the book.
Right.
So like, I'd rather have it in my collection than worried about, how much money is this going to fetch for me? Yep. I need to get the best copy, period, because and I don't have time for people like that, because those people like that irritate me. So
yeah. Okay, let's move on. With back to school going on, I did notice that this year there is a lot more schools that are doing the no cell phones during school hours. And I know that one of the schools, they're having the kids put their phones in is it the Yoder packs or whatever?
Yeah, is it the clear? Are they see through or they unclip?
Well, so I know artists are using them. And when I saw Garth Brooks at Caesar's Palace in Vegas just a few years ago, he made everyone use them. And they're not clear. They were just gray. Oh, okay. And you put your phone in it, and then it kind of like locks. Yep. And then you have it on your possession, but you can't open it. And then if you needed to use your phone during the show, you had to go out to the lobby. Somebody was there to unlock it, and then you could use your phone. And then when you were ready to go back in, you put it back in and they locked it and you went back in. So I'm assuming it's the same kind of Yoder pack or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think
these schools are using.
They are. I know schools in Oregon are for sure. I don't know about necessarily Washington, but I do know there are some Oregon school districts that have actually bought those those
Yeah.
packs.
Yeah. Which I know, which as a parent, okay, I understand cell phones are a big distraction. They're a big problem. My only concern would be as a parent in an emergency. So, like a school shooting, that my kid would have immediate access to their cell phone. Like that would be my big concern is that it's locked in this Yoder pack and they're not going to be able to call anyone for that matter. So, I mean, that's kind of my concern. I mean, I get that they're a distraction, but as a parent, I probably wouldn't be for this policy.
But I think, and I hear you on that, but and you and I lived through the days where we're like, Michelle, your mom's on the phone, and they'd come to the front of
you'd have to go to the office,
right? All
thought
that.
you were in trouble.
my issue more than anything else is, I mean, we're talking like elementary kids now have cell phones.
Oh yeah, which
and
my
tablets.
Kids didn't get any until they were like 9, 10 years old.
Right, but I feel that the entitlement of like, and it's not just entitlement, it's a status. So we're already grooming kids in first, second, third grade to walk in with Starbucks and the best cell phone. If that
right,
we do that,
right.
We do that because parents want what they didn't have or what's best for their kids.
Yes.
And so it's to me, I think it's equivalent to having the best brand new Nikes or Air Jordans.
Right.
You know, and so for me, it's like, and can't you put I think cell phones can be an addiction. I think that screen time, and I hear what you're saying, and that is the argument. A lot of people say medical or in case of those kind of situations,
any type of emergency.
But again, you're relying on immature kids to not get on their phones.
Right.
I mean, so where do you draw that line? A teacher's up there to teach.
Yeah. Which again, I get that they are a distraction, but I would want my child to have access to their cell phone.
I've seen a lot of parents flip out about it, like, you know, you're not going to keep my kid from his phone, da 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 da. But I saw people flip out about the Garth Brooks situation.
Oh yes,
like I'm taking my phone. Like, no,
you
can't.
You
know, enjoy the freaking show.
And it was so nice. I do have to say, it was so nice to not, because when you do have your phone, you're trying to take pictures and video, which how often do you go back through and watch these videos of the concert that you were at? Yeah. I mean, usually you don't. You just post them on social media. That's why you take them.
And I would just
being free from that, I was able to just enjoy the show and be in the moment, and it was nice.
I don't think number one, I don't think we do enough of that anymore, because over the weekend we went to see Toto, Men at Work, and Christopher Cross in Ridgefield, a great little venue, Live Nation venue, and you're right, everybody's got a cell phone out taking a video.
Yeah.
And so it's a sea of, and no one's really sitting there actually sitting and enjoying it, enjoying the music.
Right. Paying attention, listening, really.
Right.
Really
it's more
engaged.
about what video I'm going to grab and put up on social media.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
So yeah. And so school wise, if you could trust that kids could keep their hands off their phones, but I don't think you can.
No, younger kids, no. I could, high school kids, they need to start learning boundaries and to not be on their phone 24/7, but they should be able to put their phone away during class. And
but you have four great kids. Not everybody's got four great kids or one great kid or two or three great kids. You've got some really entitled young adults out there.
Which Shaylee went to dance class, and she was probably 8 or 9, and she did not have a cell phone, but she came back from class and she was talking about how the other girls in the class were talking about how they just got the latest version of the iPhone and that kind of thing. And she goes, Mom, like, they don't need that. Why are their parents buying them this? Which she's very thrifty, so I get it.
You got lucky,
but they they didn't take after me. But yeah, they're not needing that latest and greatest thing. But we also didn't buy them the latest and greatest. Like, they didn't want for nothing, but it wasn't like over the topness. There's a fine line and balance you have to try to find as a parent.
Don't you have a Louis Vuitton purse?
Not just one.
No, okay, just but I get it.
Not just one. I think I have 5 or 6 now. So
right. So some people,
hey, they're just like your comic books. This is my thing. This is my thing.
No, I get it. I understand why you got it. Yeah, I mean, I always joke why I don't have a boat or I don't have a trailer or any of those things is I've got my comic books. And the funny thing is, if I did sell my comic books, I'd love to have a classic Mustang. Like I would take that money and buy a classic car. So that's that's if you're asking me what cool thing I would love, I for some reason love classic cars. So I'd go get myself a classic car with that money. But I always joke that my car money is in the comic books.
Right. Well, I do know. So some of these kids, the way that they're trying to skirt around this is they're taking like a dummy phone to school and like giving that to be put in the Yoder pouch and then keeping their real phone. So, they're kids. They're going to figure out a way around this.
They always will. So do you think that there should be well, okay, let's say that you do give them the fake phone and all that. Don't you think there should be punishment if you discover that you do have an actual, and they're allowed to take them out between classes at lunch?
Yeah.
They're
not during. Right. So they're not like completely restricted.
And also it's kind of crazy is kids now get, iPads or laptops?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, like either or both.
We had none of that. When we were kids, you had to go to the computer room.
Yeah.
There was one room in the library that had like 3 or 4 computers. Yeah, that was what you had. That wasn't in the class. So
no typing class. Oh my God, I hated typing class.
Right. So I mean, I think that technology is amazing, and it's neat that kids can have the newest tools that none of the stuff that we had. I think that's I would much rather have my tax money go on things like that. To where they're it was so funny. We were talking on air a couple days ago about running start, how lucky kids are to have running start and things that we didn't. I mean,
running start is fabulous. Well, it would have been nice. 3 of my kids have done it. So
right. We were talking on the air the fact that Patty said she couldn't wait to get out of school, so she got out early. What I did with my credits is I front loaded my credits, so my credits were done by the time my sophomore year was done.
Right.
I mean, and maybe
you had all the required classes done.
2.5 years. So yeah. So I had already banged out the requirement. So I had about a year and a half where to me it was I was coasting basically, just to get out of school, and it would have been great to be able to leave school with an AA or something.
Right. And for certain kids, which my kids weren't into the social aspect of school, and so they really thrived with Running Start. I think, because their maturity was a little bit more than the high school standard maturity. And so they did fine in college and in their college classes, because you really have to manage yourself when you do Running Start. And so these kids really they have criteria for how you can qualify. And so they really have to be able to manage themselves and be good at just whatever it is they're doing.
Did all 4 do Running Start?
No, Benjamin tried.
Okay.
He's going to be so mad at me for this.
That's okay.
So he tried, and then he flunked out of the first quarter, which he was one of the kids who struggles in school. We think he had dyslexia, but the school would never really test him for it. Thankfully, because of sports, I think that's the only reason that kid tried to do well in school. He saw if you got a D or an F, you know how you would get benched for soccer or basketball or whatever it is. And so he saw that happen to his friends and how embarrassing that was. And he did not want that to happen to him. But he really struggled, but he at least try to maintain like a C-.
Right.
in some of his classes. But he signed himself up for Running Start. I did not pressure him to do Running Start because I knew, and he really did well in the social aspect of high school and school. And I did not pressure him to do Running Start. He on his own went to the little orientation and decided he wanted to do it. And I signed the paperwork and was like, okay, you realize, this is a big commitment. And he ended up flunking out. And so he had to spend like a quarter in the alternative school that Natchez has so that he can make up those classes so that he could then graduate on time with his classmates. But as an adult, he did get his AA a couple years ago.
Yeah,
So he
well,
just wasn't ready at the time.
well, your kid,
Where the other kids were ready. And
well, see, I mean, again, you have 4 kids. They all have distinct personalities.
yes.
And again, I mean, not. I like when you talk about your kids, like Benjamin. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge supporter of. Not everybody has to go to college, so it's like
Oh, no.
if there's a trade school, like, and
Yep.
Benjamin is very much more of a tradesman,
Yep.
different things like that, and I love that about that because that's why I always support. Like, I think I mean, private school, yeah. I think if you want to go to private school, you pay. I'm sorry, you want to be hoity-toity, you pay.
You go to
But
Harvard.
no, whatever you want to do, you pay.
Right.
But for me, I've always felt that trade schools or community college level should be free for anybody who wants to better themselves.
Right.
That should not have to be a pay for play. Now, if you want to go to a fancy private college, like let's say your kid wants to go to Phoenix or the university
Right.
wherever out of town,
Yeah.
then you should pay for those things. But at the local level, Walla Walla Community College or Yakima Community College, that should maybe even Perry Tech to some extent. I don't know. Yeah, it's a trade school. I think those things should be available for kids. And
oh yeah,
and again, I think that now if you want that higher education or that different, I think there's those levels that you pay for. But yeah, so every kid's different. So when you're talking about the cell phones, I mean, you're gonna have some good kids that are gonna abide by it, and then you're gonna have kids that are gonna cheat the system. And so how
right?
do
So
you
Matthew
treat
would
them
be.
all? Yeah.
No, so this is what would happen. Matthew would be the kid cheating the system because he would cheat at Candyland when he was little.
Yeah.
He would count how many the little with whatever the little candy that makes you move forward. He would count like how many people were playing, and he would shuffle the cards, and then he would put the good cards where he would think he would get them.
Of course.
Yeah, and then he would cheat at cards when he would play poker with his family.
I like him already.
So Matthew would try to find a way to cheat the system. He would be the kid with the dummy phone. He'd be the one cheating the system. Benjamin would be the kid that would just go along with the rules because he's just a go with the flow kind of kid.
Right.
He wouldn't like it, but he would do it. Jackson, yeah, he would go with the flow too. He wouldn't like it, but he would do it. Shaylee would probably find a way to cheat the system because this is the kid that was biting kids when she was 4. We've talked about this in a past podcast. So yeah, she would definitely try to figure out a way around this. And so then I would get the phone call from the school that would be like, hey, we caught your kid with their cell phone. It's against the rules.
When you look at from the social media standpoint, I know that Facebook has 14 and over or something like that. With your kids, when did you allow them to get on? When did you allow them to get on social media?
When
they might have had a phone.
Facebook. Yeah, they didn't get phones until they were 10. Okay. And the only reason they got a phone at 10 was because the acceleration in school shootings. I wanted them to at least have that cell phone in case of an emergency, but they also knew that they couldn't access it during school. They knew that there were certain rules. So if you get this privilege, there are certain rules that come with this privilege. And you have to let your kids test those boundaries and understand that as kids, because as adults, we have rules and we have boundaries and we have to abide by them. And so that's just part of teaching your child. And none of them ever got in trouble for having their phones. They didn't have them out. Some of the teachers would make them put them in a basket, when they come through the door, that kind of thing. And they all did fine. Do you like that
better? Do you like that better with the basket or not?
I mean, it's fine. I understand, again, that they are a distraction, but if there is a school shooting or emergency, like how accessible is that going to be for all the kids in the class trying to scramble to get their phones? So that's the way I look at it. Like
that's a hot topic. I don't. Yeah, I wish I had your answer on that.
I don't think there is a clear answer. It's just what's best at the time. As a parent, like school shootings are ratcheting every year. There are more and more and more. And now there are kids that have been in one school shooting that have now been part of 2. Yeah. They're in college now, and it happens in college, which it could happen. I have 2 kids in college, and it could very well happen for them. And it's just it's so much more a concern now as a parent that's why I would want them to have it. I mean, that's the only reason why. I understand they're a distraction, but that is the only reason I would want them to have their phone.
I did an article. I know Prosser because Kyron used to go to Prosser, so I'm still on their mailing list, and they send out their phone guidelines. And I mean, my kids have been graduated forever, but I'm still on some of the mailing list of it. So, but gosh, the problem is every child's different. That's the problem. Yep. It's it's like I'm with you. If everybody
and you don't have parents like me that would say, okay, this is a privilege. If you break that privilege, I'm going to take your cell phone away for a week. I mean, you don't have parents like me that would.
No, you have parents who think
those rules. Right.
You have parents who think it's a right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You got parents who think that it's a right to have a cell phone. They have a right to walk in with Starbucks. They don't have to get rid of their Starbucks. So
yeah. Is Starbucks like the gum? But like back in our day, it was gum, and now it's Starbucks.
Gum. No one cares about gum. No one cares about gum. Or you know what? I may be out of line. You know what I'm seeing a lot of, maybe it's a status, and maybe you have to educate me because you know
as
me.
As I'm drinking my coffee from the coffee stand, it's not Starbucks.
So you know me. I'm a non-drinker. Blah blah blah. So when I'm at concerts, all I see is what energy drinks and sell. Is it all sell? I mean, is this all? Does it taste good, or is it literally people just trying to look like that they belong?
I think it's an addiction. Energy drinks are addictive, just like coffee and other, alcohol, cigarettes. I think part of it,
because remember those Celsius, or you see them now. Yeah,
Celsius isn't. Are you talking about like White Claws or the seltzers?
Well, yes. Well, I've heard White Claws. I know all. Yeah. So so when you're at a concert now, it's like back in the day, people would have a beer, and now it's these drinks.
I think it's it's both. People are addicted to them, and it is a status thing. And people it's the new coffee for the next Gen Z. Right. It's just their version of Starbucks on a different level. So. Right. Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, so I didn't want to just bag on poor Starbucks today, but because I was at this concert, and I'm like at this concert, and all these people like have their I think it's Celsius or whatever they got. I'm like, wow, all these energy drinks that they got going on there. So
well, at least we don't have to worry about Starbucks ever being a sponsor.
Probably not. Yeah, not yeah. Product placement. You just gave the product placement. We're good.
Yeah. Okay. So the last few nights, I have been watching The People versus Michael Jackson. It's been on A&E, which I just watched. They had a documentary on the Bunny Ranch. Remember the Bunny Ranch?
I love the Bunny Ranch.
Yeah, they had the Cat House on HBO back in the day.
I saw it years ago.
Yeah, I used to watch that.
Me, but I saw it.
Okay. But yeah, I watched that with which Dennis Hoff was just a sleazier version of Hugh Hefner. They were two old white men who used their power over women to get them to do what they wanted. Looking back now, it was gross, but yeah, back in the day, I would watch The Girls Next Door and Cat House just like you and didn't really think anything of it. But anyway, so back to the Michael Jackson documentary. So it has his attorney, which if I ever get in trouble, kill somebody, whatever, I'm hiring him.
Okay.
Just so you know. So just if you need to find me representation, just look up. He's got the white long hair. I don't remember his name. They had Michael Jackson's attorney. They had some of the jurors. They had one of the prosecutors and some other people. One guy that was a biographer of Michael Jackson. He said he was a friend, but some of the things he was saying, I was like, girl, you were no friend if like you're saying this shit. But none of the victims were in it. They, as far as, speaking for themselves or being interviewed. And I am a big believer in believing the victims. The problem that I had watching this documentary was the parents of the victims. They took the money or the settlement instead of seeking justice for their kids. So the two allegations from back in the 90s, the parents took the settlements instead of having him prosecuted. And so for me as a parent, like that is a huge problem, a huge problem for me. That would be what you would do. You would take this money, it's hush money basically, instead of seeking justice for your kid. And like what parent lets their 8-year-old like stay weeks with some adult But then again, you and I have been in the lines at meet and greets, and we see these people that lose their damn minds over celebrities and do and say things that we're going, why did you say it? What are you doing? So I could see where people get blinded by fame, but still, this is your 8-year-old child. So I thought it was crazy. I don't know what you think about it as
Well,
far as the whole.
so for Michael, I'm a little torn on some situations with Michael because here's a couple things. So Corey Feldman says absolutely nothing happened.
So did Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin says nothing absolutely happened. Lisa Marie Presley.
Macaulay testified.
Yep. Lisa Marie Presley said she never saw one iota of
Debbie,
any of these things happening.
The mom of his children, Debbie, whatever.
Right. None of his own children. Yeah, none of his own children. Do I believe that Michael Jackson never grew up? Absolutely. Do I believe Peter Pan? Absolutely. Do I believe that these things? Now, again, there's that old adage: where there's smoke, there's fire. So, I am concerned. One of those things is like I go back to what you just said. It was interesting that they both times took a payout, or they would take a payout, and
the kids who were friends with him, they hadn't gotten money yet, no payout or anything, were interviewed, and they said nothing happened, and then later, like some of these kids that are now adults have flip-flopped and have said things have happened, but they have also gotten paid for their stories. And so that really clouds it. Like, you're getting paid because you wouldn't have gotten paid if you would have said, oh, nothing happened.
And again, it goes back to number one, even from the parents' standpoint of getting rich or those particular situations. So I think in the very first allegation, Michael's lawyers were like, Michael was like, I want to fight this. I'm going to fight this.
Yes.
And they were like, no, just pay the kid $20 million. He'll go away and you don't have to worry about it. And so
they talk about that in the documentary. His attorney that fought the allegations in 2005, he says like Michael wanted to, try and beat this, but the attorneys told him it would be in his best interest to settle. So his attorney makes that very clear in this documentary.
Yeah. And I think that there was multiple times of what do they want? Oh, they want 20. I mean, but see, that's I'm with you. It's like, for me, it's like there's something rotten in Denmark. It's my great word. I'm saying rotten in Denmark when it's like, so Michael Jackson did this horrific thing to your kid.
Yeah.
And
you're
how
just
we settle is me writing a check for $20 million. I don't like that.
As a parent, if anybody wrongs my child, like I still hold grudges against kids that did shit to my kids.
We've already talked about this. Yes. I'm a huge death penalty person, so I'm 100%. That's the one Republican thing that I line up with. It's like I'm an eye for an eye kind of guy when it comes to that. And so if you are a child molester, your ass is done. I mean, you're done. And so if those allegations were true, or if that had happened to my kid, there's no amount of money that they're going to pay. I don't care what they say. I'm not doing it.
But then the flip side of that coin is this is Michael Jackson. So do you think those parents were, we can't go up against, we can't beat Michael Jackson. So say this goes to trial or this, whatever, we're going up against this huge giant star that it would be in the best interest for us to take the money.
I don't know about that. I think that the poor thing about Michael Jackson was his maturity level. I'm concerned about. I mean, like it's
kind of like look at Britney Spears now. Like
right? Oh my gosh, yes. I look at her all the time on Instagram. What are you talking about? I'm enjoying the pics. She can take away the little rose.
Not in the same way. I don't look at her the same way, but yes, I see her on Instagram. I'm going, oh my god. Yes, she did not. Yeah. She was not able to have a childhood, and
we make jokes about it, but I am concerned for her mental health.
Yes, definitely.
On some of the things that she's doing. And even from the Michael Jackson thing, it's like, I've always been torn about Michael. I also think that people set him up to some extent too. I do believe because of his immaturity, because interesting enough, Corey Feldman and Macaulay Culkin, or at least Corey Feldman once said, is the worst thing that Michael Jackson ever did to him is once he became an adult. So once you weren't that cute kid anymore, he would lose interest in you. And that was one of the things Corey Feldman had mentioned. Which is
something I think they brought up in this documentary.
Yeah, it was.
I think one of the kids kind of, I don't know how old he was, though.
It was one of those things where, and then that's what they were talking about. Once they got to a certain age, that's what, and I think they did bring it up in one of the documentaries where, well, he didn't want to. Now Michael Jackson didn't want to be. You're an adult.
They want to hang out, right?
They want to hang out, and you're like, and so that, I mean, from Corey Feldman, because I remember Corey Feldman talking about it a lot. He adamantly denies Michael Jackson did anything, period. Right. But he also said the only thing that hurt him was the abandonment of Michael Jackson.
Which one of the kids that's in this documentary, he talks about
he felt like Michael abandoned him?
Yes, yeah. But I don't remember the story leading up to that, so I'll have to go back and watch it now.
But that, I mean, now I can see that from like, man, you have this great relationship, and then the minute you turn, well, not
and
the
then it's cold turkey,
right? But yeah, I mean, he's just not. Yeah, you're an adult now, and I'm not. I'm just not. So, yeah, it's a good one. I think that the Michael Jackson thing is going to be debated forever. But I'm with you on 100%.
Because he's not alive anymore to defend anything.
I struggle. I always will struggle, same as you. When people take payouts, I don't buy their word.
No,
because you got
especially
paid.
When it comes to your kids.
Yeah. And so, but do I think that some parents are whacked enough to go, hey, that's Michael Jackson. Can you get close to Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Because they do that. They being in that orbit, okay, let's put it into even better perspective for you. Kato Kalin. No, I'm saying OJ. You're in OJ's orbit, basically. Right. So when you're a celebrity, when you're Kim Kardashian, when you're Michael Jackson, when you are a hanger-oner around celebrity,
right?
You orbit around that, and you feel like in your own sense that you're a celebrity, or you want to taste of that.
Similar access to things that they get that you wouldn't as just a normal person.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing as it's the Kevin Costner situation when his wife left him. Is like, well, I have to live in the same manner that you live, because that, well, no, we were married, and I guess I should throw that out to you. This would be a great way to end this podcast.
Oh, gosh.
So I'm going to just throw it out there. I think Jay does a little better than you do, Michelle, financially. Just throw it out there. You don't have to say any numbers or anything like that, right? So do you think, because you've been married, you've been married a long time to Jay.
Yeah.
And if you guys got a divorce, would you be one of those people that like, hey, he's made me accustomed to the lifestyle that I enjoy.
To these Louis Vuittons.
To these Louis Vuitton purses. And I expect, even though we're divorced, he gonna keep paying for my life.
No.
Or are you like, hey man, bygones be bygones, an amicable, we'll call it an amicable divorce. You know what I'm saying?
If the kids were still younger, then I would do whatever I could for their best interest. But that's also because my dad did not pay child support for a few years, and that's kind of why we struggled. And so again, that childhood trauma, I would do everything I could to make sure that my kids were financially taken care of. But me, like now I'm a functioning adult with no children, so I wouldn't expect him to have to take care of me.
And I don't know what celebrity recently, but it was in the news. Gosh, I wish I could think of the top of my head. But the person that's leaving the relationship is demanding $75,000 a month in support,
which is crazy.
That's and that goes back to the Kevin Costner divorce. Not and I'm sure she got paid out, but she said, "Well, I want to live in the same neighborhood."
But if they have kids and you share custody, that would be easy to go back and forth from house to house.
And that was her. Okay, so that was her point. Now you just brought it up. So they have kids together, and she said the wife that's leaving, or the divorce, says that there should be no difference if he's at Kevin Costner's house or if he's at the ex-wife's house.
I mean, I don't know about that. I understand wanting houses to be near each other. That makes the going back and forth, sharing of custody.
That was her argument that my kid is accustomed to living Kevin Costner lifestyle. I don't live that lifestyle, and that the kid's going to be in shock because they're in a
maybe the kid
condo
will
in
be
Malibu.
better off. No, I understand the house again because
Yeah.
it is easier to shuttle the kid back and forth. It's less traumatic for them. I have been the kid that's been handed off from parent to parent,
Sure.
so I get it. So I completely understand that. But the lifestyle thing, her saying that, oh, he needs to still have the lifestyle. No. And kids will be fine if they are not, if they don't have access
No.
to
Kids,
3 iPads or whatever it is that
the
they're going to
best
have
thing
over at
about kids
dad's
is they're
house.
resilient. Kids are resilient, and if you're both good parents,
it's not going to,
it's
not going to phase them.
Yeah, what yes, your one parent is exuberantly rich, beyond rich,
right.
and you're getting $75,000 a month.
Right.
You're okay too.
Right.
But
yeah.
but in her mind, it was not enough.
Things fun to do with the child, like cook with them, do things that they wouldn't be able to do with their dad because he's busy making all the money on these.
Well, the Michael Jackson thing to me, I will always be torn on because we don't know the story. We don't know like you said, people took payouts, and attorneys told him to settle different things. That to me, it's like, I guess if I got accused of something like that, guess what, mofos? We're going to court. No,
and I'm trying to, because we grew up with him, and so I'm trying to not have that rose-colored glasses of like, oh, this is Michael Jackson. I think anything's possible. I loved him growing up.
No.
For our generation, that's huge, and so you have to set that aside and look at all the facts and the case. And
you've heard me a billion times, and I'll say this and I'll say it over and over again. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat. I don't care if you commit a crime, your ass goes to jail.
Yes.
And so I don't care if you're Michael Jackson. I don't care if you're Taylor Swift. You commit a crime, your ass goes to jail.
Yep.
So,
well, speaking of jail, that's going to be a good segue into what I found. No,
okay.
Seriously. Okay. I'll try to hold this up. You tell me if you can see it.
What the heck?
That's you and me. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. Look at us.
Wow.
This was behind bars for good, the MDA lockup thing.
Wow. That's a good. I don't recall that.
Me either. I do not
even
know.
I don't recall. I don't recall. Wow.
We look so young. When I found this picture, I went, oh my God, no way. And I'll put it up on our
look
Facebook.
Like Harry Potter.
Yes. You barely have your eyes open. I was like, is he trying to look tough and mean, or what's going on?
Oh, yes, that's the joke. I'm sure it was. I bet that was.
Because we're supposed to be in jail.
Yes.
Locked up.
Yes. I
don't know what the hell I got going on. I don't know what the hell.
No,
anyway.
that was definitely being goofy and acting like I'm a hard ass going to jail.
So I will
trust me. The reason why I would never go to prison is because I would be somebody's bitch, and that is not. That is not how I want to end up. That's probably the number one reason why I don't commit crimes is I would end up being somebody's bitch, and that is not how I'm going to end in this world. So because in prison I'm probably pretty good looking, so no, not happening.
Yeah, they'll see you coming in and be fresh meat.
Oh yeah, look at that fresh meat.
Cute too.
Yeah, look at that fresh meat.
I will put this.
No thanks. Pass on it. But that's a great that's a great picture. Yeah, post it up there because that's hilarious.
I'll put it up on our Facebook and Instagram.
Now you're gonna make me dig up some of these Danger Boy pictures, so I'll have to.
Yes, I want to see them.
Yeah, I gotta dig them up
because I don't think I have any of the Danger Boy. I'll go back and look. I don't think I have any of us. I think I have a picture of the dog house.
Okay,
but then that for some reason that is it. I don't have.
I want to say these are pictures that Donna took. Remember Donna? Donna took these. Yeah, Donna took these pictures. So yeah, there's a roll of it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be expecting those for next week then. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
Okay. Also help us build up our numbers on our Facebook and Instagram page. Like it, share it. And thank you all for listening to Rick and That Michelle Chick.